Supercharge your FPL experience with Fantasy Football Fix. Learn from the best in the game by following the Elite 11 team reveal. See pre-deadline ownership data with Captain Reveal. Improve your rank with algorithms which identify optimal transfers, and boost your team value with the price change predictor tool. Find Opta statistics, predicted player points, and much more. FPLtips viewers get 15% off via the link in the description. Welcome back to the channel for the Gameweek 2 team selection, after a solid score of 74 points on the opening weekend. Before we look ahead, let's go through the key talking points from Gameweek 1. Man City were in cruise control in their 2-0 win over West Ham, restricting the home side to just a single shot on target. Only Newcastle conceded a lower expected goals against figure during the game week. No defender fashioned more attempted assists than Reece James with 3, while only Cancelo completed more passes in the final third. Chelsea had the joint third best expected goals against figure of 0.45. Mo Salah scored on the opening weekend for the 6th successive season. His 0.9 expected goal involvement figure trailed only Pascal Gross amongst FPL midfielders. After squandering a huge chance inside the first 5 minutes against Crystal Palace, Gabrielle Martinelli redeemed himself by heading in the eventual opening goal from a well-worked corner. Those were the only 2 big chances created by Arsenal during the match, and both fell to the Brazilian. Erling Haaland announced himself for the brace against West Ham, both goals coming from his runs in behind the defence. Firstly to win the penalty he converted, and then later to calmly finish off De Bruyne's expert through ball. No player had as many as his 4 big chances during the game week. So let's look ahead to the transfer plans ahead of Saturday's Gameweek 2 deadline. Being on the right side of the Kane vs Haaland call was huge in Gameweek 1. Having the Norwegian in place for his home meeting with Bournemouth means I'm very much likely to save the free transfer now. As mentioned on the watchlist video, Darwin Núñez is a player I'll be watching carefully. I was very impressed with his positioning and the way he changed the game against Fulham. But it's still too early to jump on him for me, given that it would mean losing one of my 3 current Liverpool players. One late change from the Gameweek 1 team selection video was to leave out Ivan Perisic after hearing Antonio Conte's press conference quotes. Following an impressive performance from Ryan Sessegnon, the Croatian may have to wait a little longer to claim that spot. So I'm happy to wait on him for now, especially with Chelsea up next. So unless we get major news coming out of the press conferences later in the week, I'll be saving a transfer. And here's how the team is set to line up. It's good to have Ederson locked in place as my 3rd Man City player for Bournemouth's visit to the Etihad. The Cherries marked their Premier League return with an impressive 2-0 win over Aston Villa, but racked up just a 0.52 expected goals figure. Only West Ham and Nottingham Forest took fewer than their 7 shots. I don't see any reason to panic over Alexander-Arnold or Robertson just yet, despite the upset in Gameweek 1. Liverpool on the whole were far from their best on the day, but a large portion of Fulham's expected goals figure came from the penalty. The Reds have kept 7 clean sheets in 10 league games at Anfield in 2022, conceding only 3 times. Reece James has the toughest looking fixture on paper amongst the back 4, but historically Chelsea have fared well against Tottenham in recent times, keeping clean sheets in each of their last 6 meetings in all competitions, dating back to November 2021. 3 of those have come since Antonio Conte's appointment. Gabrielle Martinelli faces a Leicester side that gave up a 2-goal lead to Brentford last weekend. The Foxes had the 3rd worst expected goals against figure last season, with only Leeds and Norwich faring worse. And since then, they've lost Kasper Schmeichel, and now look set to lose Wesley Fofana as well. Pedro Neto was instrumental in the goal that Wolves scored against Leeds, winning the ball back, dribbling into the box and crossing to Hwang, who teed up goalscorer Podence. His tally of 3 shots offers further reassurance that fantasy returns are on the way. Fulham deserve plenty of praise for their hard-earned draw against Liverpool, but their expansive style of play ultimately led to them conceding 4 big chances. Leon Bailey failed to capitalise on his start against Bournemouth, after forcing his way into the team following an impressive pre-season. The good news is that the Toffees had an abysmal away record last season. Since the turn of the year, no side averaged more than their 2.5 goals conceded per game on the road. Gabriel Jesus wasn't able to extend his goal-scoring run from pre-season, but the Brazilian's all-round contribution was clear to see, with excellent runs and clever movement. Crucially, no player during the match took as many as his 11 touches in the opposition penalty box, and that was in fact a leading total amongst forwards in Gameweek 1. Gameweek 2 captaincy will come down to a choice between established FPL king Mo Salah and new boy Erling Haaland. The Egyptian dug deep to help rescue a draw for the Reds last weekend, but there were some troubling signs. Last season, Salah averaged 11.1 touches in the opposition penalty box per 90 minutes, but against Fulham he managed just 4. Darwin Núñez had twice as many, and only came on in the second half. Before the season started, I was already heavily considering Haaland as a captain option for this fixture, and that was a big reason for selecting him ahead of Harry Kane. Over his 2 appearances so far, in the Community Shield and even more so against West Ham, he's confirmed himself to be the focal point of Man City's attack. The champions averaged 4 goals per game in their 3 home matches against promoted sides last season. So Haaland will get the armband for me this game week, buying me some time to further assess Darwin's potential impact on Salah.